everyone's journey is different, but it's the point is be on a journey.
Yes.
Are you on a journey?
Right. Start.
And really, yes, start. Get moving. It's January 2nd. What is the action that you need to take right now to be making an actual step in your journey? Hi friends, welcome back. Today I have a very special guest and I'm very excited about this. My good friend, Cara Eckerman. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
So Cara and I have been friends for a long time, more than 10 years.
Yes.
And Cara has multiple Fit Body Bootcamp locations.
Yeah.
That her and her husband, John, run. And so, I mean, you're a coach, you're a trainer, like you're helping people with their weight, with their fitness goals, with their health, like on the daily.
On the daily. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so here we are, January 2nd, brand new year. Most of us are really thinking, how do I get started with
for sure
my health, my fitness, my weight loss goal? And so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. You know, for all of our listeners out there, they want to get started.
Right.
And as someone who has been coaching people for more than 10 years in the trenches, really, let's give them some ideas on how to get started.
Yeah, let's do it. I think that there's a lot of different ways that people could get started, depending on where you're currently at, whether you maybe just fallen off over the holidays, or maybe it's one of those things where you said last year, you know, you weren't going to start, and no judgment at all.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like there's different, I guess, avenues, different ways that are best for certain people in order to get started.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is to not overthink it. And I know you and I chat about this almost all the time.
Yeah.
Because there is so much information out there, literally at our fingertips. So I think the best way to do it is to be honest where you're at.
That's hard to do.
I know. It totally is.
Right? Like, where am I? And then realizing it's January 2nd, the last few weeks or couple of months just happened. Like, where am I at?
Right. Where am I? Where am I at? How am I feeling? And what am I realistically going to commit to? And for some people, it might be getting outside and going for a walk.
Yeah.
2 or 3 times per week.
Right.
That's considered starting.
Right.
For some people, if they're not ready to start exercising, cut out sugar. Or I know
sugar, especially after the holidays, where it's so difficult to avoid sugar. And like, you know me, I avoid sugar as much as I can, especially throughout the year. But then even me, like during the holidays, we make certain treats that we don't make other times of the year. Like my sugar intake, oh my gosh, if there was like a little tally somewhere, like my sugar intake for each month of the year, I can only imagine like December is probably like more than half of my entire year intake of sugar. It's so hard to avoid.
I know, and it's everywhere, and it's addictive.
It's, oh my gosh,
it's so addicting.
Yeah.
So maybe for you, it's cutting out sugar or getting in more protein. Or if you're like, you know what, I'm ready to, whether, you know, join a fitness facility, or whether it's hiring a coach, hiring a trainer, or joining like a gym like we have at Fit Body. Just being realistic with yourself and be brave enough to start something new.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of people, fear tends to hold us back.
Yeah.
And it keeps us in the same place. So I think a lot of times it's like just having that courage and finding a place. And I'm biased, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I feel and I see it on the daily. Like you said, I'm in the trenches helping men and women transform their bodies, transform their lives. I'm a huge believer of finding a community and having a coach for that accountability and that support system.
Right. Well, accountability it's huge.
It is.
When there's nobody waiting for you, when there's nobody that's going to call you out, like, where were you? You're supposed to come work out. I feel like if you're serious about making change and about your goals, putting in some form of accountability. And then you mentioned community, when you can also get that in a community setting where there's so much accountability that happens among peers, let alone, your actual trainer, your coach.
And I feel like what I've seen too over the years is that it's almost like the support and the accountability of the group is almost more meaningful coming from your peers, like you said, than if like I were to call them up or, if I'm like where you've been, it feels different when it comes from your peers.
And it's almost like you missed your friends.
For sure.
Absolutely. It's like you kind of have this FOMO, like, what are they talking about today? Are they talking about me?
What was the workout like? Yeah. So I think, if you want to get started, start small if you need to, but also dig deep. And if you are, like you said, really, really looking to make this year your healthiest, your strongest, your best year yet, truly believe that there is power in community and power in having an expert and a coach guiding you through the process.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned earlier about like maybe last year you were in the same boat, or maybe every year that goes by, it gets harder.
It really does.
We have to work harder to maintain what we have. And, for so many of us, not being from fitness, like you and I are lucky in that sense that like we've been in the fitness industry. And so fitness is just part of who we are, part of how we live.
Yes.
But most people, that's not the case.
Right.
And the years go by, and when everyone around you in your, your job site or in your home, like if fitness just isn't part of it, but the years are going by, the weight is coming on, the health issues start coming. I mean,
they do.
We're in our 40s. I'll spill the beans. We're in our 40s. And our peers, like people that aren't much older than us or that are our age, are having these health issues that it's, I feel like when you're younger, it's like what motivates people is like, I want to lose the weight. But then the more mature we get and the older we get, it's like, I want to be healthy.
Right.
And I'm curious, like, as I'm sure you have lots of new people come in to the gyms this time of year.
For sure.
I mean, like the busiest time of year, I'm sure.
Yes.
What are some of the big reasons? Because you need a reason why.
100%.
Right? So what are some of those like big reasons why that you guys are seeing that's actually getting people to finally like do the thing?
Yeah. So it's interesting that you mentioned that because John and I talk about this, and you and I do as well. When we first started training, people's reasons why, I won't want to say superficial by any means, but I do feel like it was more how they looked, this and that. And now over the years, it's things like, I want to have more energy. I want to be stronger.
Yeah.
I want to be able to carry my groceries on my own. We have a lot of clients who are now they're the primary caretakers of family members, and they need to be strong enough to care for whether it's their mom, their dad, their, anyone in their family. They become the caretaker. They want to be able to travel. That has been a huge one lately. They want to go on the excursions with their grandkids, and they don't want to let their health or lack thereof hold them back from experiencing life.
Be that limiting factor. Correct. Because there's so many limiting factors that we can't control that happen, whether it be a global pandemic or, finances or whatever, but like allowing our bodies to not be the limiting factor.
Yes. Yeah. And that's so well said. And that's really, truly what we have been seeing. And I would say it's really been a trend the past. And for all ages, like even, young girls in their 20s and their 30s, they're like, I want to be strong. Yeah. And I think that whatever it is, whether it's something that happens in their day-to-day life that triggers it, or Sometimes people see a photo of themselves and they're like, that's not me. That's not who I feel like. And that triggers them like, I am not on a good path. And they come to us. And so, I mean, I could go on forever about that, but I think that really digging deep and finding what that reason why is. Because there's like an initial spark of motivation that's like, okay, a new year usually is a great time. Like, it's a thing.
And everybody's doing it.
Correct. Everyone's doing it all over your social media feeds, and your friends are talking about it. And let's get in shape. New year, new this, and all of that. Yes, correct. So there's that initial spark of motivation. And while that's great to kind of like get you going, get that little door. Get your little ups. Really, truly believe like you have to dig deep and figure out what that why is. And you kind of almost have to have a little fear aspect to it.
Sure.
Because I'm afraid that if I don't get strong, if I don't become healthy, what does my future look like? What is my lineup of medications I'm going to have to take on the day-to-day? What am I going to have to say no to that I would love to be a part of because I'm simply not healthy or not strong to participate?
Yeah, that's so well said. And that fear you're talking, it's almost like, I almost feel like it's putting down the denial. And looking at reality. Right?
For sure.
It is, reality is a little scary.
It is.
Like, the standard American diet and lifestyle is very scary.
Very true.
When you look at where it takes us. And you said the lineup of medication, I'm just like picturing that. And hospitals and doctors and So putting away the denial, really assessing where am I? And what's my trajectory right now? Being honest about that.
And it's scary, but at the same time, it's empowering. Because we ultimately have the power to change that. And it all starts with, like we talked about, a few minutes ago, is taking that first step.
Well, you and I feel empowered, like we know we can do this, right? Because we understand it's two things. It's exercise, and it's diet, right?
Yes.
Not everybody has it so clear, I think, in their minds of, I know I'm out of shape.
You're right.
I know my health is sliding. I don't like how I look. I don't have energy. I don't like how I feel, but I don't really know how to change things.
And it's scary because you don't know where to start.
Which, going back to like when you actually join a community where it's led by an expert and you have that built-in accountability. You are given the expertise, like, hey, here's what you're going to do for your workouts to show up. All you have to do is get yourself through the door.
Get here.
And then here's guidance on what you're going to do with your diet. Because it's really not that complicated when you really look at it. I mean, you already said like cut out sugar. Is a huge one. Like if everyone who's listening is just like, you know what? I'm going to cut out sugar 6 days out of the week.
Can you imagine the drastic impact it would have on someone's health? And it's not even like 7 days out of the week. It's just 6.
Literally. Yes. You can still have your little reward days. And then another piece that I always talk about is fasting.
I know.
And, going back to your fear comment, I think for me, so I fast 2 days a week. And I line it up with when I work. So I'm not even like, I'm away from the house all day. I'm not thinking about food. It's like a whole thing I don't have to worry about. But the reason I do it, it's not about my weight. It's not about how I look. It's metabolic health. And really getting, into my, I'm not going to say mid-40s. Early 40s.
Not mid.
Not quite mid.
Don't put us in
early 40s, but looking ahead and really thinking about all of these diseases that we know are linked to insulin resistance. And you and I go on, like, we have lunch together and we just like go on soapboxes about insulin.
I feel like we should have a microphone by us on our lunch dates because we can just go off on forever. But it's so true. And, fasting. I know you are so great about that. John has been incorporating it.
Yeah.
I'm not on y'all's level yet. I'm working on it, but baby steps,
We're
right?
all on our own journey.
Everyone is on their own journey. And I think, kind of going back to being honest, like for some people listening to this, they might be like, wait, fasting what? Giving up sugar what? Like that might like stop someone in their tracks, and that's okay. Like just know that like what works for you and me and someone else might not be where you are right now, but don't let it stop you from doing what you can today.
Right.
So if all of these things like are whoa, calm down. You want me to fast? You want me to do this? Like, I get that. Meet yourself. And again, I think this is why having a coach and a support system is so important because they can help you. They can help say, hey, you know what? Maybe we're not there. We're good. We can get there if that's a goal of yours. But from what I hear, this is a great place we can start to get you on the right path. And if having a coach is not accessible to you, take it upon yourself and be honest with yourself. Okay, what can I do today? Can I drink more water today? That's something that moves you closer to where you want to be. Hydrating your body. Can I go for a walk today? Yes, you can.
Right.
It doesn't have to be far. Can I reach out for a hike with a friend? Like just start off small. Build that confidence. And I know we've talked about this before, how doing these little things, they seem so little and you might not think that they make a huge difference.
Right.
And I know everyone always wants this big grandiose plan, but for some people, I know for you, you would follow it. You're like so good at that. You're like you lock on. Like if someone tells you to do XYZ, you're locked on. You're not going to veer. You have that mental grit. You're going to do it. Right? Like I know that about you. And then I know some of my other clients who would see what you do and are like, would like immediate like shutdown mode, right?
Yeah.
So like that's where I think a great coach can come in and say, hey, that's okay. That's her journey.
Right.
Let's get you on your path where you want to be. And it's coming into the studio twice per week, walking twice per week, and let's just get you eating protein for 2 meals a day.
Right.
You can start small.
Yeah.
And build your way up.
Yeah. And for me, like, it's been a journey.
For sure.
Right?
Right.
It's been decades of a journey.
Yes.
From when I was an overweight 7th grader.
Right.
And eating my cookie dough every day, making my brownies.
That sounds amazing.
Not understanding what a sugar gram was,
right?
Or
is it fat-free? Remember?
Well, oh yes, fat-free was a whole thing. That was a whole thing. Thankfully, we're out of that phase.
Yes,
but yeah, I love what you're saying. Like everyone's journey is different, but it's the point is be on a journey.
Yes,
are you on a journey? Right.
Start.
And really, yes, start. Yeah. Get moving. It's January 2nd. What is the action that you need to take right now to be making an actual step in your journey?
Yes. Agreed. And be patient with yourself along the way. I think that is so important. And I feel like in my mind, I think not to like discount the men. From my experience, men tend to typically see progress a little quicker. Rude.
No, they do. No, they do. They can eat sloppier and work out less and get better results.
Yes. And I think women, be patient with yourself. And I think that when you do start your journey, that's something I always like to tell women, like, because we want results yesterday. The pain, typically by the time I see someone, the pain is like already like has festered. It's so real.
Yeah.
Just be patient with yourself. And it's not like an excuse to like fall off and not give your best. It's just like when you are giving your best, be patient with yourself and love yourself. Like, hey, this is also a self-love journey. This is so hard.
Like, I love how that sounds, but like putting that, and especially for women, like putting that into practice when we see the perfect Instagram models and when we see the magazine covers and knowing I don't have to be perfect and not putting that expectation.
Yes.
And allowing yourself to, like you said, like have that self-love.
Yes. And you're so right, because we're in our minds. We talk to ourselves more than anyone. Like all this information is happening, but like whatever it is, we're repeating it in our mind.
Yep.
and we can get hard on ourselves. And I just feel like for women, guys too, but women especially, just like be patient.
Yeah.
Like know that what you're doing will pay off. And as we, God willing, we age, things tend to take, it doesn't happen as quickly
Right.
anymore. And I think just knowing that, being patient with that. And like you said, release yourself of these expectations. Don't compare yourself to the Instagram model or the person you see on the cover of the magazine. Or also compare yourself to past versions of yourself.
That is such a good point, especially as we age. And I'm thinking about the word menopause is coming up, which I know that you're really learning a lot about. And I'm thinking now, I'm like, oh, we're going to have you back on to talk specifically about menopause and how that impacts women and our ability to lose weight and our ability to build muscle and our hormones and all of that, right? All of that bag of fun that comes along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just, it's mental as well. Like, yes, diet and movement and exercise, all of that. But at the end of the day, like, I truly believe fitness is also so mental.
Oh, yeah.
It's like almost like we have to exercise our mind too. And I know I keep going back to this, but having your support system and your coach to lean on when those times, because there will be times when it feels tough and it feels like you're spinning your wheels and
maybe multiple days a week. Tough.
100%. Yes. There's seasons where you're just like, oh my gosh, like, is this worth it? Is this working? When you have that environment of people to lift you up and support you, to remind you, it's like, okay, whereas if you're on an island by yourself, or if you're just in your own head all the time, it's easy to trick yourself to say, you know what, this isn't worth it. This isn't working. When in reality,
it is. You're taking steps. As long as you don't stop, you're taking steps.
You are, and you will get there. And there will be bumps along the way, but you gotta just keep pushing through.
Yeah. So this brings me to one more thought that I feel is really important when it comes to helping someone have the right mindset when they're like, okay, I'm ready to get in shape. I'm ready to do this. And that is finding things about fitness and health that you can actually enjoy.
Yeah.
Because when I think about my own healthy fitness lifestyle, I really don't do anything for the most part that I don't really feel like I enjoy this. Yeah. With the exception of my resistance training workouts, which I've told you my son is my trainer. And he really pushes me so hard.
Drew.
He's such a good trainer. But I'm so strong now.
Yeah.
And I'm getting, I love the time with him, which is what I need to, to do it.
Right.
The actually pushing myself super hard with weights isn't something that I naturally enjoy.
Yeah.
But it's packaged up with that's time with your son and connecting. And I love it.
Yeah.
My daughter and we run stairs every Saturday.
Right.
And so it's horrible and painful, but then it's so fun. And then I do a lot of Pilates, which to me, it's not just a workout, but it's mind body.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about, where it's really feeling connected to my body.
Yes.
The fasting. Yeah. I've gotten to a place, I didn't start there. It wasn't the first day that I fasted. The first day I fasted, I think I fasted for a few hours and I'm like, this is terrible. Right?
It's starving.
This is terrible. And so building up to fasting, 2 days a week, but I love the feeling of it.
Right.
And so when I feel like it starts with just being okay with the idea that you can love exercise.
You can. Absolutely.
You can love healthy food.
Yes.
And you maybe even can love fasting.
You could. I'm going to get there.
You will.
I'm going to get there.
But how important do you think that is, that people even just feel like it's within the realm of possibility that I might actually become one of those fitness people,
Yeah.
and like some of this, as opposed to I'm gritting my teeth, it's taking all of my willpower to get me off the couch, and I'm you know, like Kevin from The Office when he's trying broccoli and he's like plugging his nose and he's like trying to eat the broccoli, right? To imagine that, like, no, you could actually sit down to like a low carb, high protein meal and actually like it as much as you like the pizza.
Right.
Right.
I think everyone can get there. I think that it just takes time. And I think that it's important to, and I probably should do a better job at this with my clients in the beginning, setting those expectations. It may be a little brutal in the beginning because it's new, it's uncomfortable, you're sore, and you're like,
humbling.
It is very humbling.
Oh my gosh. Even just trying something new when you feel like, oh, I do work out, but I'm trying something new. And it's like, oh, shoot, I'm not as coordinated as everybody, you know?
And I think it's like remembering the feeling. And this is what the, you know, so many of our clients say, like, that was tough.
Yeah.
I feel so good right now.
Those endorphins
kick in.
Yes, you feel proud of yourself. You feel accomplished. You're probably getting high fives from people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it makes you just, it sets the tone like mentally for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Your mind is more like clear. And when you eat healthy foods, I think sometimes it's the act of doing it might not always be enjoyable every time, right? But the after effects, like it's almost like the reward.
Yes.
When you eat something and you're like, oh my gosh, like I feel fueled. I don't feel sick or bloated or achy.
Feel that energy.
Feel energy as you should when you're fueling your body with food. I feel really good.
Yes.
And you can look forward to that. And I think it is so important to find that joy and that love, because that will help you stay the path when things get tough. Because the reality is it will. Life happens.
Right.
And it will throughout your journey. And when you find something that you love and you can associate that like positivity with the action of whether it's eating healthy or moving your body, that's what's going to get you there.
Yeah. And I like how you're talking about the reward and how you feel after, because I'm actually thinking about a conversation I had with Chloe as we're driving over to Brea to do the stairs this Saturday, and she was like not feeling it. Like she was like me, she'll lock in.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, I said I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Right.
And every week we want to do the flight of stairs one more time.
Oh, goodness.
It's 409 steps to the top.
It's no joke.
It's no joke.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, we're doing it 6 times, you know, today. And as we're driving there, she's like, I'm not looking forward to this. She's like, how are you so happy? And I thought about it and I'm like, I'm actually just thinking about how I'm going to feel when we're driving back home.
Right.
Which it's almost like a little mental trick of like, I know my legs are going to burn. My heart is going to be screaming. My lungs are going to be burning as I'm on the stairs. But I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to think about how good I'm going to feel in my body driving home and what I'm going to eat after. And like,
it's like the after, it's like the reward, you know? And I think like if you can't get yourself excited for the stairs, for example, just know that like the quote unquote finish line, right?
Yeah.
So when John and I were doing half Ironmans, I hated every mile I ran, every mile I biked, every mile I swam, every time I put my wetsuit on. I hated the entire process.
Wow. And that was so much too. Yes. You practiced for months and months. Yeah.
And the only thing that would get me, okay, when I cross the finish line on race day, when I cross the finish line on race day, when I cross the finish line on race day, like you put yourself, okay, I know I'm going to feel so proud and so accomplished. And it really can go with anything like stairs, a workout, a healthy meal. How do you want to feel in the future? And you have to like put away those, what you want in the now.
Yes.
Because a lot of times what we want now isn't best for our future selves.
I want a donut right now.
We're saying. I want a croissant, I want a donut, I want, you know, all these things. But I know that I've got the rest of my day to go about and train people and do my workout, and I'm not going to feel great.
Yeah. And also, that's what the weekend is for, right? Like, this is what I love about
That's true.
You know, constructing your lifestyle. And for me, with the fasting and the different workouts and stuff, it's like, I can loosen it up on Saturdays.
Right.
I can. And it's fine. It, you know, like it works within how I balance myself the rest of the week. And so keeping your eyes and your mind on that reward is so powerful.
I agree. And there's something, like I said, something mental about that helps you to kind of get you over the, I don't want to do it. but I am going to do it because I know I'm going to feel so much better.
I love this. Well, I'm pumped up. Like, I feel like I need to go work out now. But Cara, if someone is local to the Chino Hills area, do you have room? Maybe a program?
Absolutely. We always have room. So if you are local to Chino Hills, and we also have a location in Brea as well, we do have some New Year specials. So you can always come and try out a class complimentary if you love it. Then we can sit down and chat if you're looking for more long-term. And we also have a New Year challenge that will be coming up at the end of this month as well. So if you're ready to really dive in head first, and we would love to have you. So we're at Chino Hills Fit Body in Chino Hills, and then Brea Fit Body in Brea.
Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you so much for this chat. And I know
me.
that our listeners have gotten probably some motivation.
I hope so.
And hopefully a really healthy and productive perspective, right? On this, like, I can do this.
So because you can.
You can.
You can.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Drop us a comment. Like, what are you going to do in this new year to really take a step in your fitness and health and wellness journey? Drop us a comment, like, subscribe, and I will be back next week with more content.